welcome back. And when I say welcome back, what I mean is thanks for showing up. There's a lot of issues today in the world. Many issues today in the world. And I choose to look at them a little differently than the average human. Take this for instance. When you wake up in the morning, what is it that you do? What is it that gets your motor running? What gets your RPMs to 7? What gets you to tell you, today is my day. I'm going to rule the day. I'm going to create a day that is me. What gets you to that point? What do you do? What is it that you do the second your eyes crack open? Some of us got to do that rubbing the eye thing. Some of us stretch real far. Like we're just waking up and we're a plant and we're like, oh my God, that's the sun. Let me get some of that. Do you head right for the coffee pot? Do you head for the clicker to turn on the news? Do you wake up thinking, oh my God, I need something to fill my mind and just take my attention so I don't have to deal with my own surroundings that I've created? How do you start your day? All I'm here to say is, hey, maybe it's time to start looking at things a little bit differently. And to think, this is coming from a guy who just has admitted and is admittedly and has come to the conclusion that he's a retard. So the guy that you've listened to or that you are listening to or that you say you listen to is retarded. Now, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being the guy who doesn't really know what everybody else knows. I'm okay with the fact that I choose to live life maybe a little slower. I choose to get in the ultra slow lane and then go ultra slow. I've got no rush. There is no rush. There's no meaning. There's nothing that gets you anywhere but backwards than rushing. Right? So we rush here, we rush there. We pass the guy in the ultra slow lane to go super fast to have to stop at the light 200 feet in front of us. So rushing to me is like, why do it? It's a band anyway. It's a band. Rush. If you haven't heard them, go listen. Amazing artists. So listen. I gotta say it. Look it. You're not gonna believe it, because I fucking certainly don't. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and all the confused attention seekers out there. Welcome back to the Trap House Podcast, episode number 19, folks. Episode 19. We're not turning the heat up today. We're not turning the heat down. We're just going to keep it at a steady boil today. Because everything today is going to be boiled down. Now let's start by saying, look out in front of you. What do you see around you? Just use your eyes for just a brief moment. And look around. Look at the things you see. I could tell you now that I see a lot. And how could you not if you could see? You see everything. You have the potential to literally see everything. So what do you see? What do you see going on in your life that may need a change? What do you see going on in your life that you could see better. You could see yourself doing something different. You could see yourself doing something that you said at one time in your life you'd never do. I could tell you this. I'll break off a little memory piece for you. There was a time where this guy, Epiphany Chris, was scared of heights. I was so scared. You even going upstairs was frightening. It was frightening. But let me let you in on a little something. Just a little something. A few years ago, I went to an amusement park. Now you're thinking, man, this guy afraid of heights. Why is he going to an amusement park? Well, I have kids. I have children. I have beings that like to have fun. So we go to the amusement park. Obviously, Dad's not a big fan of the heights, so I'll watch or I'll see them do the things they enjoy to do. But one day, I said to myself, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm done being afraid of heights. I'm done being afraid of heights. Now heights, you got to know this. Heights is just a change in altitude. Heights is just a change from sea level to wherever your height is. So, I said to myself, which everybody should do from time to time, you should maybe talk yourselves into some things, maybe talk yourselves out of some things. But in this case, I talked myself into saying, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go let strangers attach me to what seems to be just a very large rubber band. And then I'm going to let those same strangers drop me from 250 feet in the air. And then just free fall. Now I can tell you this much, folks. It was an experience that if I had chosen to continue to be afraid of feet above sea level, I would have never got to experience that experience. My words of encouragement for you today would be to experience experiences. Because if you choose not to experience experiences, you're going to look back when you're older, you know, when you're sitting there and you're hooked up to a CPAP machine, when you're hooked up to, you know, your oxygen, when you're hooked up to living a routine life with other people that are 180, 90 years old. You're going to look back on that life that you had a chance to live, and you're going to say to yourself, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. I can't believe I didn't do this. Why didn't I do that? Or this? So silly. They're the same thing. If you choose to do this, I also could choose to do that. Words are so fun. And also words hold so much meaning. Each word has a meaning. And those meanings are the meaning of the word being used. Now, I've come to this conclusion that words, although very important, words could never possibly matter. Because in fact, words are not matter. Now, after pondering that for a little bit, I threw myself into the den of wolves, and I tried to express these words that I said and thoughts I had, and I try to express them to other human beings. And they look at you like you have 10 heads. Like, why, who, where is this stuff coming from? This guy's telling me that words are important, but they don't matter because they're not matter. And now these are words, obviously, but if you look up the words of what matter is and what meaning is and what importance is, if you look up these words and then you understand their meaning, you'd maybe come to the same conclusion. What do I know? What the fuck? What in the hell? What, where, when, how, and why? Who knows? Who knows? But what I've noticed and what I've seen with my eyes is that the human race, the one thing on Earth that has the ability to do anything, to do the most outlandish, to do the most amazing, to do the most, we have the ability to do literally the most. And what I see, being that I am a human, and that I understand the human, I tell myself, how do I figure out why other humans do things the way other humans do? I'm seeing what's happening. I know what's happening. And so do most other free-thinking human beings who haven't been silenced by consumerism and television and COVID and what you are or are not allowed to say or think or how to express yourself. In a world today, I look out and I say, there are people out here who think they understand other humans. But to understand another human, they say you must walk a mile in their shoes. Now see, these are the kind of sayings that I just don't get. I don't understand. Because I think about walking a mile in another human's shoes, and just a mile? Just a mile. 5,280 feet, just a mile in someone else's shoes? Some people walk a mile just to get to the bathroom in their own home. Some people walk a mile just to go from their front door to the end of their driveway. Just a mile? To understand another human? No, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. Now there's a reason for this episode today, folks, and I'm gonna get into that later, but I'm gonna make it very clear to any human being who listens to this. There is no way in all of your life that you've chosen to live. There's no way that you could possibly understand another human. Unless you've walked and took every breath and had every thought and was put into every situation and every circumstance and every consequence, if in fact you have not been for the entire life of another human, even to be a parent to say you understand your child, is beyond retarded. It's beyond retarded. Now, you know how you have Bed Bath & Beyond? The beyond I'm talking about is beyond, beyond, beyond. Words. So silly. But let's just say this, it's been a while since I've sat down here to record words and then upload them to the YouTubes. It's been a while. It's been a while. And I forewarned you, folks. I forewarned you. I told you I didn't know. I don't know. I could do this again tomorrow. But I wouldn't know. Because tomorrow doesn't exist. Because once you get to tomorrow, it's today. Why do you think life plays out the way it does? For everybody. Life plays out the same way for everybody. And let me break it down. You're born, or you're created in a petri dish somewhere. So you're given life. Did you ask for it? Did you choose? Is there some place in the beyond, beyond, beyond where there's like a registration form to sign up for life? And then at one random point in time, you're chosen and you come out of a vagina or you're built on a petri dish? First thing in life that you don't get to choose is life. Now, everybody's got a name, right? Everybody's been given a name. As soon as you came out the vajay, your name is. As soon as you came out the puss wagon, your name is. As soon as you slid out the birth canal, your name is. Better yet, as soon as dad pumped his load into your mom, and then 9 months after living inside another human, you come out that human and you're given a name. Almost immediately. Unless your mom dies while giving birth, and then they still give you a name. Jane Doe, John Doe, Susie Smith, Jeff Bridges, Alec Baldwin, Tom Cruise, Brett Simpson, George McGrath, Tina Clifton, Linda Johnson, Peyton Clisby, Brooke Gardner, Donnie Shivo, Pat Query. You're given a name. Second thing in life, you don't get to choose. Now, in fact, hey, what the fuck's this guy talking about? You could change your name anytime. Sure, you can. Have you ever done it? Have you ever changed your name? Have you ever started to walk a mile in another human's shoes? It's difficult. Very, very difficult. One of them is impossible. And that is to understand another human. But to change your name, look it, you could go ahead and try. But have you ever established your life and then went to go try to change your name? It's not easy. It's not just like, hey, I want to be Clifton Rogers. No, you can't just do that. That's my name now. I'm saying that's my name now. You can't just do that. There's mountains of red tape. There's mountains of paperwork. There's lots of other humans you have to deal with. It's so crazy. It just befuddles the mind. It really does. It befuddles me to think that in a world where, one, you don't even get to choose to live, and two, you don't get to choose the name. Well, how could you pick a name when you're just a baby? How could you do that? It's impossible. You're right. And I'm not saying anything other than words. So how have you been spending your time? How have you been looking at the world that you're currently in? The world that you're currently on? My apologies. There's nothing better than not knowing. There's nothing better than not knowing. Because it makes you want to know. Right? What do you want to know today? I hope I've given you a little bit to think about at the start of this episode. Because without something to think about, you become dormant. You become like a zombie. Not really like a zombie, but like a zombie that just gets up in the morning and just immediately gets into this routine of routineness that just continues on till the day you die. Does that seem like a good deal? To just be a zombie for commercialism? To be a zombie for what's on the news? To be a zombie worrying about everything else? To be a zombie empathizing with other human beings, thinking that you can possibly understand them? To be a zombie to Facebook? To be a zombie to Instagram? To be a zombie to a close friend who one day will betray you? To be a zombie to hookers? To be a zombie? Just, you get, why is it that it's so difficult for humans to think for themselves? Let's just put it bluntly. Why is it so hard for humans to just be you? It seems that we see it a lot nowadays. Nobody wants to be you. They want to be them. They want to be something. They crave being something else. But I'll tell you this. Not only has nobody ever walked a lifetime in my shoes, I've never walked a lifetime in anyone else's shoes. But I encourage you, like I like to do. I'm a big fan of encouragement. I'm a big fan of making wise choices. In order to make wise choices, you must think about the choice before you. Ponder. I like the word ponder. You must ponder it. Because you can think about it all day, but to ponder it is getting that pot out. You're getting that pot out from under the kitchen. You're getting the pot out of the kitchen cabinet. And you know what? I like the big ones. I like the big pots. You know? That grandma used to make her she used to make sauce for like a year in this one big pot, you know? And she'd be stirring it all day. You see the sauce when it bubbles up just a little bit and it sneaks out under the top, and then it just like slowly moves down the outside of the pot until it dries itself right before it hits the stove, and you're just like, God damn it. Whatever's in that pot is gonna be delicious. And it's not because you've had it a million times. It's because every time it's delicious. Every time when you see it, you know it. And if you know it, that's being, motherfuckers. That's to be. So let's get out that fucking ginormous pot, because we're going to fill it with a lot of goddamn water today. We're going to fill it up with a lot of fucking water. And I'm turning the knob right now. Just turn the stove on. I turned the stove on. So we got some time. Because it's a 68 quarts. 68 quarts, it's a big goddamn pot, you know what I mean? We're going to give that some time to get to temperature. But in the meantime, remember the last episode? Dedicated to my eldest daughter for her birthday. That episode, I had asked the question, and I said, here's something to think about. What's in a name? Just simply, what's in a name? So obviously it's been quite a bit of time that has passed. I mean, couple months. a couple of months. And just for shits and giggles, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna whip out the calculator here. Boop, calculator. Now we're gonna just go by one day. There's 24 hours in a day, right? 24 hours in a day. And then there is 60 minutes in an hour. So we're going to take our 24 hours and multiply that by 60. In one day, we have 1,440 minutes of time. It's been 2 months. We're just going to round that to 59 days because that tricky bitch February. So now we're going to multiply that times 59. So in 2 months, all human beings, all plant life, all animals, and everything in between has had 84,960 minutes of time. Now that's a lot of time. That is a lot of time to think about what's in a name. Now I've gotten to think about it, and I thought about it. And here's what I've come up with. Remember earlier when we talked about being able to choose life, not your choice, and then being able to choose your name, not your choice? You gotta ask yourself, if they named me Chris at my birth, what's in that name? Susie, Jeff, Pete, David, Tyler, Miranda, Margaret, Bertha, Bethany, Waylon, Xavier, Vladimir, Donald, Joe. What is in these names? Now everything's got a name. Everything has a name. Every place has a name. Now I exclude person or people because as human, we are a thing. Now if animals are considered things, we too must be just considered a thing. So everything has or has been given a name. But what's in a name? What is the fucking purpose of a name? I wonder. Boy, oh boy, do I wonder. Have I taken part in the naming process in my lifetime? Sure have. I sure have. I've been named. I've definitely been named. I've also been called a few names. And I've named. I don't really recall the amount of thought during the time of naming that went into the naming. But I can tell you this. It took about 5 minutes to come up with a name for my dogs. It took about, I don't know, a few years to name my cock. It took about, I don't know, if you added all the time up together, it took about, I don't know, 30 seconds to name my car. It took a couple weeks to name my children each, to decide on a name. But really, not too much thought is ever really put into a name. Not a lot of thought. There's not really a lot of research, I guess. I mean, I really don't know, because just a name is just a fucking name, right? A name is a name. I mean, what's in a name? They say certain names mean certain things, but then, tell me this. So they say certain names mean certain things. And what is that based on? Is that based on just because somebody knew a guy that was named, or a gal, or whatever, named a specific name and they did certain things, so everybody named that name in the future will do those things and accomplish those goals? Because, I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it that I don't get it. Because it's fucking stupid. I believe it's stupid. Because to name is to assign ownership. It's to assign owner. It's to assign what is and what it will be now and in the future. Where do these origins come from? To give name. Where's the origin to give name? And why is it a thing? Because I had this thought. If I wanted to go change my name, if I chose to go change my name, I thought, what if when it says your new name, you just leave it blank? What if you don't want a name? What if you choose to not have a name? Is that something that's feasible? Can you do that? Why does everything have a name? And why can we not have a name? The reason I say that is because to not have a name, or to not be named, technically, you'd be... And that's how you'd have to introduce yourself. Hi, my name's... It's very nice to meet you too. I'll tell you this, it'd be real hard to talk down or to talk about someone with no name. Don't you think? To point blame, or I don't know, you do something stupid and then did it. It's funny. To me, very funny. But to let everybody know, you cannot change your name to So what's in a name, really? Let's see. Let's dive into the mind of Epiphany Chris. Let's find out what's in a name. Let's find out. And let's find out together. Number one, let's find out what's in a name. You are something when you're born. You have to have a name. People look at you, other humans look at you, doctors look at you, and they say, oh, what a cute boy, what a cute girl, what's its name? So you designate a name. All right, Philip, we'll use your name, buddy. Philip raised his hand and he's volunteering his name for this part of the thing. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. So, Philip, this human was born. His parents called him Philip. Tragically, there was a mass shooting at the hospital that day. Both his parents were murdered, dead. Goo! But they saved the baby. Now, Philip's been given his name. He's got his name. Philip! We're not going to give out last names, but Philip. So he has to live his life with that name. Now, in order for Philip to go to school when he's old enough, he must have a name. In order for Philip to get insurance or be on parents' insurance or be on the orphanage's insurance, he must have a name. But wait. Hold on a minute. There's a step that we missed. After you're born, shh, don't tell nobody. But after you're born and you're given a name, almost actually immediately following that, you're given a number. I said that. You're given a number. Now this number is very, very important. Some would say it's even more important than your name. But you get your name, and then you live your life. Boom, 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 boom. You're living, and your name's being used over and over and over again. Sometimes you introduce yourself, right, Phil? In third person, you say, "Hey, Philip's here. Philip's here. Woo, 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 right? Party up in here. Philip's here." Now you get real used to using that name in school. A lot of times your parents are saying it to you through your whole beginning part. Hey, Philip, and they say it over and over and over and over and over and over, and then over and again. So you're conditioned to that name. What if, when you're born, they called you by your number? I mean, they gave you the number too. So what's in a name? So far I've figured out that there's a number in a name. Definitely figured out that there's a number. So let's think even deeper. What is that? Oh, the pot's starting to boil up? Awesome. That's good news, Phil. Good news. So what is in a name? It just assigns ownership. It assigns ownership. It says, this is you. Okay? You get this name and you carry it with you your whole life. And you try to make that name mean something. You spend all life trying to put a meaning behind a word. Now, if you seriously ponder and think about words, all words have meanings. Now, also, all words are made up of letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Those are the letters that make up all words. And here's the kicker. They make up all names as well. Now, your name is literally a word. If you debate me in the comments. Remember to like this or dislike it, share it, and subscribe. Hit that little bell, ding ding, because I guess it matters. So how about this, folks? In your life, what you do with the time you have is try to create meaning to your name. Now, that was the pot boiled. So what's in a name? What's in it? What's it made of? Who is it? Where is it? Why is it? And how is it? How is it? How is your name? Where is your name? Why is your name? How is your name? Just asking questions, folks. Just asking. And also, I like to tickle your thought. I like to tickle your thought. I like to tickle it a little bit. You know? So has anybody ever taken their finger, and if you have hair, some of you don't, and you can beat it. I know you can. So if you have a little bit of hair and you have like small little strands that come out somewhere, and you just take the tip of one of your extensions off your palm, one of these little things that are super sensitive, I think they call them fingers. You just take one of them. I just want to tickle, and if you take your finger and then you just like brush real close to some of them little tiny hairs next to your face or on your head, and it feels you feel that little kind of tickle. That's all I want to do to your thought. I just want to do that. And then we can walk down a thought path together. With no obligation. Nobody's ever going to ask you for money around here. Nobody's looking for a fee. I just want you to think. And, you know, when you find out what's in a name, you begin to wonder why people are naming their kids Honey Boo Boo. You ask yourself, why are people naming their kids Directions? Why are humans naming things XAI? What's in a name? What is in a name? But if you really want to put some meaning into your name, but shh, don't tell nobody how we do things. If you want to put some meaning behind that name, just make wise choices, like Mom has always said. Now, ready? I'm gonna rock, paper, scissors. Just lost myself. Paper covers rock. God damn it. Listen, here's something to think about. Here's something to fucking think about for the next episode. Cavemen. Neanderthals. Just think about cavemen, Neanderthals. We'll obviously dive into that, on the next episode. If there will be. Now, to all of you who have stuck around, and even to those who have showed up for malicious intent, I've got something for you. I've got it. It's seriously right here. And I've got it. And I'm going to give it to you. Oh, I'm going to give it to you. Now, to say I'm going to give it to you, what I mean is exactly that. I'm going to give you something more to think about. I'm going to give you something more to tickle that thought. We're gonna push the envelope. I'm gonna push the envelope. Now, I don't fully understand what to push the envelope means. So, what we call it here at the Trap House Podcast is we're gonna boil it down. I'm gonna boil it down to. We're going to take this 68 quart pot that's still on simmer. We're going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. And we're going to boil something down until this pot of water is leaving residue at the bottom of the pan. We're going to burn the bottom of the pan today. Now, here it is. Here it is. I want to ask a question about some things that we do as humans. Choices we make, or not really choices, but we do these certain things that I'm going to ask a question about. And it's normal to do. It's something that's accepted everywhere. It's something that is celebrated. It's something that it's almost like a competition. It's like a competition. So here we go. So when a human being dies, when a human being that lived, and they lived a full life, or they lived a half life, or they lived up until they were murdered by a drunk driver, or up until they expired, or up until so human beings live these lives, and they're alive, their heart's beating, their blood's flowing through their veins, they're having thought, they're participating in events, they're creating events, they're listening to the Trap House podcast. So you live a life, and you live it to be you, and you live it to the fullest, as they say. Now during this time, you have all these people that may be a part of it at one point and may not be now, or they were lifelong friends. Maybe you married your high school sweetheart. Maybe you had great relationships with everybody you ever met, and everything was fucking perfect, and you knew thousands of people. Maybe you died homeless, and the only person you knew was the person handing out soup and bread at the soup kitchen. But everybody lives a life, and they have other humans that are involved in that life. Okay? These are facts, in my opinion. We must remember this. But here's the question. Why is it when a human dies, we stand in line and look at them in a box? Second question. Why, when a human dies, do other humans gather together to see who can be the saddest? Why, when a human dies, do other humans have a competition on who knew them best? Why, when a human dies, do we prey on the emotions of other humans? Why, when a human dies, and in most cases is buried in this box that we just got done looking at them in, although we knew them in life, why, once they are put in the ground or in a tomb or in an urn, because for some reason getting burnt crispy is a choice, why, when they are no longer living, is it okay to talk to them when they don't have ears or eyes or sight or breath in their lungs or blood pumping from their heart? Why do we, when a human dies, still try to communicate with that human? Now, I'm only asking these questions, because if you were to talk to yourself, you are deemed insane or mentally unstable or mentally ill But it's okay to stand in line to stare at a dead human body in a box and then talk to it even after life has expired. But to talk to yourself is insanity. Now, mind you, folks, remember, these are facts in my opinion. I'm just asking questions. The conclusion you come up with is up to you. I'm just asking the questions. Why is it that we, as humans, find it necessary to put dead humans on display for 6 hours and then be the saddest and claim we knew this dead human so well, and then let us speak on his behalf? Why? When did this become a thing? Who was the guy at the meeting who said, I got an idea? How about this? After humans die, we should charge them money for a box and then charge money to put that box with the dead human in it inside a building so that other humans can line up, look, get emotional, and then try to speak on the dead person's behalf. How can we make money off of that? How is it even in death they make money? I'm just asking questions. Who thought of this and then is now a thing? It's now a thing. I mean, when a dog dies, do we have a funeral? When a cow dies for our consumption, do we have a funeral? When you step on an ant, do you have a funeral? Well, I'm just asking questions. And to think all of that is sane. But to talk to yourself and to have free thought makes you insane. I don't know. But again, folks, you all know me. Epiphany Chris likes randomness. I also like letting you know all these facts, in my opinion. So how about you don't live a half-life, so you do not die a half-death? Put some meaning behind your motherfucking name, because if not, someone else, some other human, will do it for you. Again, folks, thanks for showing up to episode 19 of the Trap House Podcast. It's truly appreciated. Just start thinking for you a little more.